But now that President Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter, are you reconsidering? Might you pardon yourself?
Everything's being dropped. I didn't do anything wrong. Sir, if you pardon yourself, you're going to look guilty. And you did nothing wrong.
All right, people, so let's get into this here. So President Biden made the decision to pardon his son Hunter after he explicitly said that he would not. So this comes weeks before Hunter was set to receive his punishment after his trial conviction in the gun case and the guilty plea on tax charges. Now, let's just stop here for a moment. Let's just stop here for a moment. Hunter pleaded guilty to the charges. He pleaded guilty. Why would you pardon someone who pleaded guilty? Now, I can understand that if you pleaded not guilty, even though you possibly were guilty, I can understand, okay, since I'm leaving the office, let me just clear my son of all these charges. But this man pleaded guilty. So why would you do that? Why didn't he get the punishment that he deserved? Why didn't you think that was actually right? Why didn't you actually think that this had the right to happen? So I guess we should interpret this as, since I have a certain amount of power, especially the power of the leader of the free world, I'm able to do anything or say anything, including, clearing a guilty man, my son, of all the charges that are brought against him, pardoning him in this. And this is how we should show our leadership to the people of America. And he's also going to the point of now considering preemptive pardons for Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and Anthony Foss. I hope I'm saying his last name correctly. But my question is, why are you considering giving people, like, especially specific people, like you're naming people specifically? You're not saying, okay, so everyone who basically is being in court right now, I'm just going to hand you all down pardon since I'm leaving the White House. Why is it that you're specifically pinpointing these people to provide them with pardons? If they're not guilty, why are you giving them pardons? Why aren't they going into court to have their day in court to actually go through the process of proving their innocence? Why is everybody now worried because, when Trump gets in, he's going to be, he's going to jump on a train where he's going to just, start going through everybody who did him wrong when he was president? Like, really? Let's just go down that road for a moment. Let's say, for instance, that President Trump did decide to go down that road and he decided that, look, I'm going to come back swinging at everyone who, did me wrong, everyone who decided that they were going to take me through this process of, invading my home, taking me through courts and, all of these ridiculous things. I'm just going to go down that road. Why is it that you're scared? Why isn't it that you're allowing that to happen? I think that if I was in their position, I would be the one standing there and say, okay, let's go. Let's do this. Because I'm innocent. And I know for a fact that I can prove that you were guilty in what you did. Why aren't you taking this man head on and say, hey, let's do this. I'm ready. Let's actually do this. Prove your innocence. Why are you allowing somebody to provide you with a pardon? I would love, based on the fact that if President-elect Trump came in, swinging, I would love to actually swing back at him and put him right on his face. If that's how you really want to play ball, let's play ball. Because I know for a fact that everything that I did is in best interest of the American people. And I can prove my innocence and prove him being guilty. Why not? Why aren't we not taking that road? Right? So I don't understand why you people are not allowing these people to have their day in court to prove their innocence. And I especially believe that Liz Cheney deserves to go to court to answer for her unethical violation during the investigation of January 6th attack on the Capitol. I believe that she should have her day in court. So I want to take a look at the press release from the Committee on House Administration. Let's take a look. So this is where it says that Cheney began communicating with Hutchinson back in April 2022. It says Hutchinson reached out to Farrah Griffin following Hutchinson's second transcribed interview. Farrah Griffin and Hutchinson knew each other from their time working together in the White House. Farrah Griffin was one of the first former Trump administration officials to publicly criticize Trump in January 2021 and was publicly working with the Select Committee on its investigation. When Hutchinson reached out to Farrah Griffin, she invited Hutchinson over to her Georgetown home to talk on April 26, 2022. That evening, Hutchinson told Farrah Griffin she had more information she could provide to the Select Committee, according to statements by both Hutchinson and Farrah Griffin. So during their conversation, Farrah Griffin agreed to contact Liz Cheney on Hutchinson's behalf about scheduling another interview. Hutchinson's new testimony would include her never-before-heard story that alleged that President Trump agreed with rioters chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." Now, I want to skip over a few of these things here. As you can see on your screen, that's the communication between Farrah and Hutchinson about the conversation that she had with Liz Cheney. Now, it says here, for nearly a month, Farrah Griffin acted as an intermediary between Cheney and the Select Committee. As an intermediary for Cheney, Farrah Griffin helped coordinate Hutchinson's third transcribed interview without Hutchinson's lawyer, Stefan Passantino's knowledge. During the same time, Farrah Griffin and Hutchinson discussed the optics of Hutchinson's leaking her new information to the press instead of providing it directly to the Select Committee. Hutchinson and Farrah Griffin also colluded to create a false story about why Hutchinson needed to do a third transcribed interview for the Select Committee to feed to Passantino. Presumably, this was done at Cheney's direction because it was Cheney herself who led the third transcribed interview with Hutchinson. Cheney knew that Passantino represented Hutchinson leading up to and during this third transcribed interview with the Select Committee on May 7, 2022. In her May 17, 2022 transcribed interview, Hutchinson testified to a series of uncorroborated and unverified stories that conveniently fit the Select Committee's narrative that President Trump is dangerous and solely responsible for the events of January 6. Y'all don't think this is crazy? Like, why are you having a conversation outside of this? Why are you having a conversation with Hutchinson without her lawyer? Why are you coordinating a third interview without her lawyer present? Like, that makes no sense to me. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. Now, if you read the press release to its entirety, it went as far as to the point where instead of talking through Griffin, Hutchinson decided to basically reach out to Cheney to have a conversation. And where after that conversation, Hutchinson fired her attorney. She fired her attorney, Passantino. And then she hired the attorneys that were recommended by Liz Cheney. I don't think you guys, are you guys seeing this? Like, are you guys really seeing this? Like, this also led to like a fourth secretive interview, which was, it's just crazy. And basically, they were saying that, Trump basically attacked his driver when he tried to get in on the Capitol on that day. And all of these different things. Now, I just can't understand, like, why is, if it's a case where President Trump is basically guilty, as they have stated, and they're bringing a case against him, why are we jumping through hoops to actually, try to prove that he is guilty? Why are these unethical hoops being, crossed? Why are they being jumped through in order to prove that this man is guilty? If he's guilty, it will show that he is guilty. So no matter how hard he would try, no matter what he would do, it will come out and prove that he was guilty. He was a part of this. He was contributing to this in a very big way. Right? So Trump recently did an interview with Meet the Press with Kristen Walker, and here's what he had to say about that.
If President Biden doesn't issue those pardons, do you think they are going to wish that he had? Are they going to be pursued?
I can tell you this about Cheney, and she's a so-called Republican. I think she hurt the Democrats terribly. When I saw that Kamala put Cheney out on the campaign trail, I said, that's the end of Kamala. I really did. I thought it was a terrible move, especially if you're a Democrat. But Cheney did something that's inexcusable, along with Thompson and the people on the Unselect Committee of political thugs and, creeps. So the Unselect Committee went through a year and a half of testimony. Wait. They deleted and destroyed all evidence of that they found. You know why? Because Nancy Pelosi was guilty. Nancy Pelosi turned down 10,000 troops. You wouldn't have had a J6 because other people were guilty. The people that said that I attacked 2 Secret Service agents in a car. I grabbed one around the neck. I was then rebuffed, and I grabbed the other one. These are 2 of the toughest men anywhere on the planet.
Oh my God. The ridiculous claim that, Trump lunged toward his driver of his car that day is just it's just a really laughable experience for me right now. It's just going crazy. Like, why would a president, okay, let's even forget he's a president. Why would Trump at his age launch towards somebody who is basically trained to protect someone from harm? Basically trained how to go into attack mode. Right? This is just a really laughable moment for me. Right? And then while sitting there and watching Kristen interview Trump and trying to get him in a gotcha moment, like, yes, sir, you said it, I heard you, you said it. I love how he responded to her. I just love his response.
Let me ask you this about January 6th. I think
Benny
you're going to want to
Thompson
answer
wrote
this.
in a statement that he has destroyed all evidence.
Let me ask you this about
It's
January
amazing.
6th.
I wish you could be you have such potential. If you could be just non-biased, you hurt yourself so badly. I'm telling you, they deleted and destroyed all the evidence. Everyone knows it. And you slough it off like it doesn't mean anything.
No, I'm just saying they deny it. That's all I'm saying.
Kristen, if I did it, you would be standing up in that chair shouting at me. And you know what I'd do? I'd say, you got me.
Now he sure cleared that up. Now, Kristen also went on to ask President-elect Trump if he would pardon himself, especially now that Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter. And let's take a look at his response to that.
Let me ask you about something you've referenced a couple of times in this interview. I asked you last time we sat down for an interview if you were going to pardon yourself. You said no. But now that President Biden has pardoned his son, Hunter, are you reconsidering? Might you pardon yourself?
I didn't do anything wrong. I was given the option. And the lawyers told me, a very specific lawyer, I don't have to go into who, but very high up in the administration said, sir, if you pardon yourself, you're going to look guilty. And you did nothing wrong. Oh, I had that option. I could have saved myself a lot of legal fees. But it turned out that I was right. Look at what's gone on. Everything's being dropped. I still have a Fani Willis, a total hoax. That's a total hoax. It's all being dropped. It's all been discredited. it's been dropped. There are those people that say, and this would be the first time in history, that all of those fake indictments, they were going after a political opponent. There are those that say that I actually did better in the election because of it.
I love him. I love him. I really love this man. Like, I just genuinely love the way how he does it. He's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just love the fact that he did not give in to this. I mean, this man literally went through the legal process, paid his legal fee, and was dragged through the court and dragged through the mainstream media for all of us to see, what's happening and what they're accusing him of. And basically with the fact that most of the country did not, had Trump in their, what should I call it, good books. This was just the perfect time to drag him through because people would be like behind it 100%, 100%, 100%. But then people started to realize that what they're being fed through the mainstream media is not true, right? So I'm just really, glad, and I would like to applaud President-elect Trump that he actually went through this process instead of pardoning himself. And, just to prove so far with most of the cases that have been dropped against him that, these were ridiculous allegations. These were ridiculous claims, right? And it also highlighted, how people had to be doing things behind closed door and making certain arrangements in order to prove that this man was guilty is just ridiculous, right? And then the funny thing about it is that if he was, let's say for conversational purposes, that President-elect Trump was actually guilty, the mere fact that because of all these backdoor deals that are happening and all these different arrangements and unethical behaviors that are happening, to prove that this man was guilty, literally, we will never know the truth if he was guilty because of the things that people were doing and not allowing the court to actually do its job. I just think that's ridiculous. If this man was guilty, we are definitely never going to know, right? Never, ever going to know. So let me know what you guys think about all this pardoning that's going on down in the comments below. And we will definitely discuss those comments on my next video.